10 years. And then,
Mhm.
and then when you get in your 50s, people begin to realize time is running out. And like, is this how I want to spend maybe my last 15 years, my last 20 years here on earth, with this, looking at this person being, I hope my schman and I do, because I love him. I get along with him so great. And he just works my personality perfectly. But anyhow, I think a lot of married couples can relate to what she said. I think too, a lot of married couples start out with nothing and then they get money. They either inherit money, one of them starts doing very well in their career, and that does change everything, right? Gives you a lot of open doors that weren't there before where people can come into your life. And I also think the communication thing is big, right? You have kids. The kids, like, my husband and I, now we have the biggest common denominator. We're crazy about our son. So what do you do after when the kids are like where Kyle and most kids are? You know, can you still have something in common? And I think what she's saying is they don't. They like each other, they respect each other, but they can't go deep. She wants to be deep. And money and fame, I'm sure, opened up a lot. And look, when we met Mo, the guy, he's got a great personality. So does PK. They both are charismatic. They're fun. They
Mhm.
looked right at us. They were like, "How are you guys? How are you?" Looked, and we were like, "I love you guys." I mean, they were great. And then we said, "Mo, how do we get to smoke a blunt with you?" And he didn't respond to that. But anyway,
He did not.
I loved it. I thought that was open of Kyle.
She says that that's what caused it. Money and fame. Look, you say a lot of what you just said. There's a lot there. Look, there's a lot of divorces in the 50s. There's a lot of divorces in the 50s for that very reason.
Yeah.
I do want to drop a footnote that some people are in their 50s and they actually have 40 years left. There's lots of people that do live to the 90s. We have Clint Eastwood at 94.
Oh,
We have Iris Apfel, who I think is like 102. No, she passed away, excuse me. But she was like 101. But I do agree. There's a lot of people that do go in their 70s. So it is for a lot of people, it is 20 years. It is what it is. And I mean, look, when people book me on the weekend for the podcast consulting, the business consulting, and the life advice, you better be living this life for yourself. So, certainly when you're 50, yeah, I don't give a fuck what you say about me. I don't give one fuck. You got to do it for yourself, guys. You got to. So, I see what she's saying. Do I think money changes a lot? Yeah, I do. I think money changes a lot. My good friend Catherine Edwards says, Erica Jane should never have money again. That if you're a nasty person without money, the money will
ooh.
just exacerbate that. Also,
Did Miss Edwards say that Erica is a nasty person?
well, she's saying she's very pleased with Erica's performance this season, and over the past, the humble Erica is, she's who made a statement about this? A very good friend of mine. Her name is Bethany. Very good friend of yours too. Miss Frankel said, "I was on The Housewives in that little apartment with the parquet floors. Believe it or not, David Yontef had those same floors in his like those floors. I do associate as well with Bethany as not the most successful time in one side. Those little parquet floors, like from the 80s, even though it wasn't the 80s. But Bethany's like, I got on The Housewives and, I was famous. I was famous. You think people this and that when I was famous? She's like, no. She's like, but then the company is sold and there's a rumor Bethany Frankel sold it for 100 and all of a sudden trolls, haters. So Bethany says, you would think it's fame that did whatever for me. She's like, no, it's money. People get nasty. They come out of the woodworks wanting shit. Then, yeah, they want to fuck you. So I agree. Yes, I think money or the perception of money changes, but it shouldn't change who you are. Like, personally, this is why I should be ultra famous, Sarah. You have a minute? Because if I was ultra
Hell yeah.
famous and people were
Okay.
coming up to me, oh, in the DMs, now, I'm not saying I wouldn't, diddle and daddle, because I'm a woman with needs. I'm a single woman, but I would never believe the hype. I really, truly wouldn't. It's, of course, lovely to hear, oh, I love you. I love you. I love you. Those same people, Mauricio, that love you also hate you when there's a controversy that Mauricio stole millions of dollars or fucked a 19-year-old and cheated on Kyle year 3 into the marriage. Whatever your controversy is, Mauricio, all these people that love you at the airport and on the Aspen ski slopes will be online wanting to tear you down. Now, are these friends? Are these people that you should, if you know who you are inside, you don't need that external validation, Mauricio.
Mauricio.
But interesting for Kyle to say
I
money
don't think
machine
it's
revealed it.
Mo comes off. I don't know. I mean, how do I know? I don't know, Mo. You're right. You're right. You could be absolutely correct. I think it's just more. My guess is they lost a connection between the two of them a long time ago. And so, when
Totally.
money and fame comes, it's like, ooh, okay, well. And by the
Look,
way, I mean, I like a lot of people stand by she is in a relationship with Morgan and they are still married. So, I mean, it takes two to tango, I think. And maybe Kyle too. Maybe Kyle's always been gay. And that's hard in a marriage because how many people do you know? I know so
honey.
many that women that have left their husbands for other women, men that were always gay
Mm.
and got married or had kids. And, you cannot keep a good marriage like when somebody is wrestling with that. You just can't.
Yeah, usually when one person, when like the lights go
Yes.
down and you are a hot jock dad with a huge dick and you
Oh,
really want to fuck your best friend, chances are your marriage can't be that good with your wife. Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Yeah,
yeah.
when you're secretly gay and married to the opposite sex, chances are it ain't gonna work,
Well,
folks.
and yeah, like I think with her, sometimes it's just the person, maybe Morgan, but I think that's a pretty big change. And you kind of wonder, and I've heard from some of my friends that kind of become late in life lesbians, they just once they met that person, it's like all of it made sense, and suddenly they realize they never were straight. And that's like such a hard, you gotta be, yeah, you gotta be into it. That's hard.
You got to be into it. What did I want to tell you? I thought
I
it
don't know.
was
There's like 10 topics on here I want to go over.
ask me. We could do quick hits
Let's do
and
quick hits. You ready? We got a lot to get to.
oh, people are very emotional about okay, go
What?
on.
Well, what do you
Well,
make
yeah.
of what? Wait, no, you say it.
No, I'm just saying people are talking about Beverly Hills over the past 2 weeks. Last week, this happened. Last week it happened with the whole Sutton revealed. She really opened up about her father.
Yes, it was so juicy. It was so juicy. I thought it was very fascinating, right? In a season where we have come for Garcelle and Sutton for not being open, that trip to Augusta with Sutton's mother, Reba. I mean, it's good. I think it's good again. I think that's a very interesting, what a dynamic, right? Icy, uh,
I talked
the
about
mother
this.
is very, you could tell, like very hurt. Something obviously really awful, of course, happened to her, and
I talked about this on my
there.
Patreon this past week. I don't know why people, I think the whole Beverly Hills cast is doing the actual job description. I don't know why people don't. I mean, this is the job description. So,